Welcome back. A demand, a refusal, and a coronation. These three words aptly describe the current political situation in Haryana. Ahead of the big Lok Sabha battle and over 6 months before the Haryana Assembly polls, the state has witnessed a massive change there. It has been a change of guard. Manohar's Haryana is now in Nayab hands. Yes, the Bharatiya Janata Party has replaced Manohar Lal Khattar with its state BJP chief and Kurukshetra MP Nayab Singh Saini. You may be wondering what's so important about this? Why should rest of India be bothered about it? Well, he is a Khattar confidant and a strong OBC leader. That may be just a very important peg to the elections that are coming just round the corner and what many call a huge appetite to win that BJP exhibits. Now, this has come after a bitter breakup with the JJP. JJP has been a partner in Khattar's government with its leader Dushyant Chautala, serving as the Deputy Chief Minister since 2019. We know what triggered the change in Haryana. BJP and JJP had a fallout over seat sharing for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. JJP wanted to contest from Hisar and Bhiwani Lok Sabha seats. BJP was in no mood to concede to its demands. BJP had won all 10 seats in 2019 general elections, and a breakup with JJP ahead of state polls wouldn't have hurt them as much as it assured numbers in Haryana Assembly. The split is also part of the BJP's big plan. The plan is to split the Jat votes in Haryana. Traditionally, Jats have voted for the Congress, then for the INLD, and then for the JJP. And an alliance with JJP in the Lok Sabha polls doesn't help much. JJP fighting the Lok Sabha battle separately will help split Jat votes in 3 in the state, which will eventually help BJP consolidate its non-Jat votes. Is that really the game plan? That's about the equation between two friends and Dushyant turning BJP's Dushman. But the bigger question, why the change of guard in Haryana? Some say that there was anti-incumbency against Chief Minister Khattar and that a change of guard was needed to be done well before the state elections and that he clearly couldn't have been a candidate for state polls. Remember, Haryana has seen quite a lot of political storms of late, including what were the massive, unprecedented protests by even wrestlers, women wrestlers. Now, Mr. Khattar is likely to be BJP's candidate from Karnal in the general polls. The bigger question was who could replace him. Well, that too stems from the caste arithmetic. Nayab Singh Saini, the new Haryana Chief Minister, is from the OBC community that has around 40% vote share in the state. Sainis account for 8% of this total OBC vote share and have a stronghold in several Haryana districts. And this is BJP's real target in Haryana, 40% OBC vote share. The party is trying to consolidate non-Jat communities and their votes, especially upper castes and OBCs, against Jat domination. This can also be seen as BJP's counter to the growing caste survey demand. It isn't the first time that the Saffron Party has elected or allied with a strong OBC face. Saini's elevation fits in with BJP's recent pattern. A few months ago, Mohan Yadav was given Madhya Pradesh's top job. He was made the chief minister. Similarly, Arun Sao, he was made Chhattisgarh's deputy chief minister. In Bihar, BJP has joined hands with Nitish Kumar's JDU. Is this BJP's game plan for the Lok Sabha battle in order to consolidate OBC votes? I'm asking this to my guests. But first, let's listen in to the new Chief Minister and the outgoing Chief Minister.
प्रदेश के 9.5 वर्षों में आदरणीय मनोहर लाल जी ने जो एक हरियाणा को नई दिशा दी है, हरियाणा के अंदर कई इतिहास उस सरकार ने रचे हैं। आज हमारे मंत्रिमंडल ने आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री मनोहर लाल जी जो उनके कार्यकाल में कार्य हुए हैं उनका धन्यवाद किया है। मैं केंद्रीय नेतृत्व का धन्यवाद करता हूं। आज हमने धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव पास किया है और कल विधानसभा का 70 वो मंत्रिमंडल के अंदर हमने डिसाइड किया है कि कल 11 बजे हमारे जो नवनियुक्त मंत्री गण हैं सभी और फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस विश्वास आदरणीय राज्यपाल जी को हमने कहा है कि कल 11 बजे हाउस बुलाने की हमने बात कही है।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की परंपरा रही है कि हम संगठन में समय समय पर नए जो नेतृत्व को आगे लाते हैं और अभी चूँकि लोकसभा के चुनाव हमारे एकदम सिर पर हैं और पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड ने कुछ इस प्रकार का निर्णय लिया है कि अब नया नेतृत्व इसी समय ला करके और हम एक हमारे जो पहले सांसद हैं और प्रदेश के अध्यक्ष श्री नायब सिंह सैनी उनको जो है सब उनकी परामर्श पर और हमारा जो विधायक दल मंडल है उन्होंने नेता चुन करके और आज नए चीफ मिनिस्टर के नाते श्री नायब सिंह सैनी की नियुक्ति की गई है और इससे कम से कम मैं प्रसन्न हूं कि एक नया नेतृत्व समय रहते और आगे उभरा है।
I'm being joined by Dharinder Tayal, BJP leader, Vipin Pabbi, senior journalist, as well as Arshpreet Khadial, the Congress spokesperson. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining us. Dharinder Tayal, of course, the first question to you. Itni kya jaldi hai? What's the Haryana hurry?
Where is the hurry? I don't see any hurry there, Sneha. There was a tie-up, which was an alliance, which was there. The alliance, we were supposed to fight the Lok Sabha together, and we couldn't come to an agreement. So, I mean, it was a moral stand. We had gone to the governor when we formed the government that, okay, the two of us are together, we are forming the government. So if we are not together any longer, we went to them and said, okay, we are resigning and we are forming a new government. So there is no hurry. Everything has happened when it had to happen. So no hurry at all. I don't know why you say that there is some kind of a hurry.
All right. Arshpreet Khadial, how do you look at this? There was no hurry. It's a very thought out thing. They're just proving they're just flexing their political muscles, establishing themselves. Alliance that did not work out is now out because they have the numbers and they can do only better without them.
My question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, have you tried to do away with Mr. Khattar, or have you tried to do away with the anti-incumbency, given the fact that you have done it just before the Lok Sabha election? And also, this is no less than an admission of failure of the Bharatiya Janata Party, that they have failed when it comes to delivering their promises. Second question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, who's more upset with Mr. Khattar? Is it the people of Haryana, or is it the senior leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party, given the major stack of your failures when it comes to protecting and safeguarding the rights of women wrestlers, when it comes to the issues of farmers, when it comes to the issue of the youth, and especially the law and order situation of Haryana? We've all seen how many incidents have been happening. And third, does the non-democratic alliance of the BJP party do not feel like sharing the slice of the cake with its regional allies? I mean, 2 seats out of 10, 20% for a regional ally, the Bharatiya Janata Party cannot even stomach that. Goes on to suggest that the Bharatiya Janata Party has always been against the regional allies, regional parties, and that's why AIADMK left them, Samta Party left them, SAD left them, SAD Seyok left them, and soon many more, JJP left them, and many more are going to be leaving them because of this very reason. And number 4, I want to know it, although we are pretty sure about it, that there was a survey conducted which showed the Bharatiya Janata Party the mirror that they should have seen coming long while ago. And that mirror is that the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to be stripped off. But the Bharatiya Janata Party is winning 0 seats. And the Congress party would be winning 10 seats in the upcoming election. Therefore, they have realized that they need to do something about it. So this is a last-ditch effort. Next is that it's a time
I'll come back. No, you have to hold your questions. I will have to come back to you. Before I go over to Dharinder Tayal to get the responses, let me go over to Vipin Pabbi. Vipin, so what are we looking at? Are we looking at anti-incumbency? Are we looking at Jat votes? Are we looking at OBC votes? Are we looking at consolidation, or are we looking at splitting? What are we looking at?
Thanks, Sneha. And I was listening to your opening remarks. I think what I believe is that this plan had been in the works for quite some time. But BJP has a tendency to spring surprises, certainly. For instance, yesterday only the Prime Minister praised Mr. Khattar very highly when he was opening that Dwarka Expressway. But apparently, this was planned earlier because there were definite reports, and from the ground reports also, that Mr. Khattar was personally, I mean, he was facing strong anti-incumbency. Even some of his ministers had problems with him and all that. But this is a move, as you rightly mentioned, that it has several aspects to it. One is that anti-Khattar sentiment that was there. Second is certainly, as you pointed out, is the OBC factor. Now, BJP has been doing it in other states also, bringing in younger leader and OBC as chief minister, and I think it is the 12th state, if I'm not wrong, where they've done this. And I must point out that Nayab Singh is the first time MP in the state, but he has been chosen because he's a younger leader and OBCs are about 40% of votes in Haryana. While Khattar represented the Punjabi community, which is much in minority. So I think it's a well thought out plan that you replace the chief minister who has been in the seat for about 9 years and not a kind of a lackluster performance, to be very frank. And then you have a younger leader coming in and all these changes coming in with OBC as, you know, their main objective to get an OBC to lead it. I think a well thought out plan, certainly. And I think a lot of thought has gone into it. And I think election results will, of course, become later in. But BJP is apparently studied a lot of aspects to come to this conclusion.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, before I go to Mr. Khadial, Dharinder, Tayal, is this now a game plan which is repeating itself? We've seen this in other states as well. So there's when there is a whiff of anti-incumbency, and there are parties that have been going on, to quote the survey that seemed to have happened over the last few months, for the protests that happened in Haryana over the last several months, for that matter, that garnered headlines for being unprecedented in several ways. But that apart, the manner in which BJP is going ahead, is this, and I'm going to ask you the same question as well as the Congress, because I don't see anything wrong in this, but is this the appetite to win? Because you got in Mr. Khattar, and remember, when he was brought in, one of the things that were looked at was to be able to influence the Jat votes. Very, very crucial. You barely had chief ministers in Haryana that have not had the Jat backing or have not been a Jat CM. So Khattar was brought in, the leader, veteran leader, was brought in with that in mind. With the JJP not working out, is this just another game plan to be allowing JJP to go and split votes further as you consolidate another section? Is this how the BJP is looking, as the Congress is claiming, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, firstly, as Mr. Pabdi said, this is nothing new for BJP, what we've done, right? So, in fact, we heard Mr. Khattar, you played out the clip, where he said that we've been bringing in a new leadership and we've got depth. So we're not like the Congress. So we've got a lot of depth, and new leaders have to emerge, and new leaders are emerging, and we've done it in other states in the past and have done it very well. That is one. If you rewind 5 years, that time also anti-incumbency was being talked about. Khattar is on the way out, huge anti-incumbency, and BJP wins 10 on 10. So 10 on 10 was some incumbency. So let's understand the anti-incumbency is in the minds of some people who can't find anything else. The other thing, Arshpreet was very interesting, where he says Congress is going to win all 10. I mean, even he doesn't believe that, I'm sure. And one wonders which Congress, the SRK or the Hooda? You know, there are two Congresses in Haryana. So what are we, which one are we talking about? They haven't been able to put their house in order, and here is a new CM who comes in, touches the feet of the earlier CM. No acrimony. Both are welcome. That is BJP for you. So, then we have been talking about, I mean, he also talked about, you've been also
even while
talking
you're
about.
putting that bold face out, let me just ask you, is all well in BJP? I mean, the Congress would have got all over the board saying what it would have said, but Mr. Vij has not spoken a word. He seemed not happy as he walked out of that venue. He did not even address a word to the media. Why?
So that is better than the SRKs addressing the press conferences. So let's understand, rest assured, all is well with BJP. The other important thing which very wishfully the Congress has been talking about, very wishfully the Congress has been talking about, and you've also spoken
Mr.
of
Khadial,
it.
okay, let me get in Mr. Khadial. Mr. Khadial, the same question that I asked him. So even if you say this is anti-incumbency, the fact that BJP is managing to do this state after state without the party falling apart, just an exhibit of what it takes to win. And I mean, you may say that it is anti-incumbency, they are not giving respect to their allies whatsoever, but they are managing the winning quotient. How do you look at that? Isn't that at the end of the day everything about elections?
Not really. In fact, this would prove out to be the fatal blow delivered to the Bharatiya Janata Party, because it's not just signifying anti-incumbency. It's not just an indirect admission of failure, not just an indirect admission that you have massive anti-incumbency, but also that you lack candidates for the upcoming Lok Sabha election in Haryana, that you have to legit put forth a CM, incumbent CM in the race of MP election. Is that how bad the Bharatiya Janata Party has gotten when it comes to having meritorious candidates? Is that not telling us crystal clearly that the Bharatiya Janata Party has no promises that they have delivered, has no work to show, has no candidates to offer for the Lok Sabha election? And this basically is a recipe for a blunder, and the nightmare for the Bharatiya Janata Party has already begun. You see, ever since 2024 began, their electoral bonds, they have gone. The Chandigarh mayor poll, they tried to topple the democracy.
Okay.
They have lost that. The Supreme Court had to intervene. In Haryana, they have failed on all the issues. They tried to be unjust with the farmers, and they have suffered from this because of that, because they have been unjust to every single individual in Haryana. And not just that, I want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party another question, because they didn't clearly answer all the previous questions that are asked in the first segment. My question is that Mr. Anil Vij, did he not perform well? Was his ministry not doing its job up to the mark? Is that the reason as to why he's being dropped? And all the other ministers,
but he's still with BJP, and that's BJP's answer.
Sorry? What is it?
But he's still with BJP. He's still with BJP.
See, no, I'll answer the question. They're still with the BJP. It's just been a couple of hours. In the coming hours only, not even days, you'll see that very soon they'll be floating away like butterflies do. And on top of that, I've given you four parts.
Let me just get in. I'm just left with a minute. Whippin' Pubby, BJP is managing to keep its house together. Congress is claiming it's going to float apart. But if you look at precedents, they are managing to keep their house together despite these massive changes which is being brought in. You call it vote bank politics, you call it sensing the threat earlier whatsoever. But is this BJP's success?
Undoubtedly, BJP, as you had been also saying, and I know it's a fact, that they are actually hungry for power, not in a negative sense. Every political party needs to be hungry for power, which unfortunately Congress doesn't appear to be. And so BJP had been strategizing and had been thinking, and maybe they had I am told they also conducted a survey in Haryana where they found that Mr. Khattar image was not doing very well. So it was a very, very well thought out plan. And as part of their strategy, again, very well thought of steps had been taken because there were definitely reports that they were not doing well. On the other hand, Congress, it has been having all these problems of factionalism. There are 3 or 4 factions there, and there have been problems, and they've been openly airing their views. Unlike in BJP, where Anil Vij, although was known to be a strong critic of Khattar and definitely unhappy at not being made the chief minister, but he hasn't said anything in public as yet. So that is the difference between the two parties.
All right, we're totally out of time.
And you find that Congress scholars are, openly criticizing each other's legs.
I'm totally out of time. 30 seconds, Dharinder, Tayal. 30 seconds, I can't give you more.
Okay, so one, Arshpreet says BJP doesn't have candidates to give, and Rahul Gandhi runs away from Amethi. Open challenge, and he runs away. BJP has enough candidates.
All right.
This is democracy.
Okay, we're totally out of time. Okay, we're totally out of time. Dharinder Tayal, Dharinder Tayal, thank you very much. Vipin Pabbi, thank you very much. Arshpreet Khadial, thank you very much for joining us. This may not just be the last word from Haryana as of now. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching.